Praise to our Lord Jesus Christ. Let's talk about prayer. I mean, powerful prayer. Is there such a thing as a powerful prayer? And that God will most certainly answer if we say only this type of prayer. Well, apparently, some people do actually think so. This will certainly give rise to some people to promote that this prayer is more powerful than the other prayer. Just browse through the internet and you will find countless so-called powerful prayer being promoted with justifications as to why it is powerful, and to the extent claim can be made that God will certainly answer this type of prayers. Let us pause and think logically in our most rational mind. What will happen if indeed there is such a thing as a powerful prayer? To be more blunt, one might say that, this prayer is more powerful than the other prayers. Think of it this way. Ultimately, to whom are we saying the prayer or making the prayer request to? It is to God, right? So, are we telling God, look here, I'm saying this powerful prayer and I'm expecting you to answer it, or expecting something out of return from you? Probably this person has been saying many other prayers before this, and God doesn't seem to answer his or her prayer. So when this person has been introduced to a so-called powerful prayer, this person expects God to hear and answer it. Whatever it is, one thing is for sure. I'm certain this person will be deeply disappointed if God doesn't answer the powerful prayer. Sometimes there were people who were recommended with or come to know of a so-called powerful prayer through some other people who had prayed this prayer and had their prayers answered. Therefore, those who need a divine intervention will normally be encouraged to say or try out this type of powerful prayer from these people. Well, sometimes I don't blame people who will clinch on to this powerful prayer. If we put ourselves in their shoes, we might realize that these people have no choice but to depend on God for a divine intervention. Desperation could be one of the reasons why some people fall for this so-called powerful prayer, because there are no other persons to turn to or other places to look at. One thing I can tell you for sure is that God certainly hears our prayers, be it a so-called powerful prayer or a non-powerful prayer, a one-liner prayer or a lengthy prayer. However, whether God answers our prayers or otherwise, it is His prerogative. His reason is beyond our comprehension. Surely, we must have heard that God will answer our prayers, but in His time, and not in our time. God is not at our disposal, and we certainly do not instruct God. God knows what is best for us, and before we could even make a request to Him, He already knows what we want. This was clearly stated in the Bible when Jesus Himself said in Matthew chapter 6 verse 8, "Do not be like them. Your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Jesus then continues on in verses 9 to 15 by teaching us how to pray by saying the Lord's Prayer or the Our Father. So, isn't it an irony if we still want to harp on any powerful prayers when Jesus clearly said that God the Father already knows what we want beforehand? Here, can you see the unbalanced equation or the disconnection between a so-called powerful prayer and what God already knows? However, Jesus' words should not be misunderstood because He didn't say, "Do not ask His Father." In this respect, we still need to tell God what we want and to make our request known to Him. Jesus also makes it very clear in the Sermon on the Mount when He said in Matthew chapter 7 verse 7, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds. And so, to the one who knocks, the door will be opened." Okay, in ending this video, let me state my position very clearly. I'm not against the so-called powerful prayer. For the word powerful has great meaning and should be used wisely. My intention in this video is just to throw caution to everyone so that one will not be disappointed unnecessarily. The danger is that if one is too over-dependent on a powerful prayer, and when the prayer is not answered, there's always the chance of that particular person losing his or her faith and trust in God. Isn't this unnecessary and uncalled for? Why should one put oneself in such a precarious position? Whether a person depends on a powerful prayer or not, or sometimes it could also be an impromptu short or lengthy prayer. Let us examine ourselves on how we communicate with God by taking into account Jesus' words mentioned earlier in Matthew chapter 6 and 7. Therefore, when saying a prayer, it will also be extremely meaningful if we humble ourselves. Be earnest. Pray in good faith from the heart and fervently. Be sincere. Be specific and mean what we say, and be submissive to God's will. Thank you. Praise to our Lord Jesus Christ, and God bless.